I think we finally found a brand of monitor that works really well for what we need. Hi guys, it's Amanda with Eat Pray Crunch, and today I wanted to talk about baby monitors. We have had quite the journey with trying to find the perfect baby monitor. And I'll just start off the bat by saying that this is discussing only audio monitors. We have never done the video monitors. I know a lot of people love them, but for me, I felt like it would be something that I would just get obsessive about, like that I would just be like constantly watching my baby all the time, just be constantly worrying, oh my gosh, is baby breathing? And I feel like once I put my babies to bed, like that is my time, that is my husband's time. It's like my time to recharge, you know, from being with little kids all day long. And so I don't want to be spending that time like fretting and worrying and obsessing over watching my baby over the monitor. And so that was my reasoning for just wanting to get an audio monitor. So we first got one when my son was born, when we lived in a much smaller house, and ended up not using it because we lived in such a small house and I could hear him anyway. But then once we moved to our bigger house, I did start using it, and it worked great for a while, but then we started having some issues with that one, which I'll talk about. And so then we tried a different kind, and then we had some issues with that one, and then finally we found the one that we're using now. And so I just wanted to tell you our whole journey with that and how I think we finally found a brand of monitor that works really well for what we need. So like I mentioned, we have tried 3 brands of audio monitors, and the first is the VTech Safe and Sound audio digital monitor. The second is the Graco Secure Coverage digital audio monitor. And the third is the First Year's Crisp and Clear audio monitor. So in that order, those are the ones that we have tried. So I'll go through each of those and talk about the pros and cons of them and why we ended up liking it or not liking it. So the first one we got, like I said, is the VTech Safe and Sound digital baby monitor. And we got the one with the 2, this is the child unit and these are the 2 parent units. We always get the 2 parent units because we have an upstairs and a downstairs, and we wanted to have one in our bedroom when we're sleeping at night. We want to be able to hear the kids if they wake up, and one downstairs, so especially for when my kids are napping and we want to be able to hear them during the day downstairs. Anyway, so this is the monitor that we got for my son when he was first born, that we ended up not really using until we moved to this house anyway. So let me just go over some of the features it has. First of all, it is a digital audio monitor, so it's not like the analog old ones where it's like on some sort of like, is it a radio frequency or something where like others can, you know, pick up on it if they have a baby monitor, like creepy things like that. And so this is digital, and so there's no risk of that using any of these digital audio monitors. But this one had a lot of bells and whistles, which we really liked, which is why we chose it when we were first shopping. I liked that this one had so much control over like every setting. You can control not only the volume, but you can also control like the sensitivity. So, you know, if you don't want to hear just all the little noises your child makes throughout the night, you can set the sensitivity lower so that it only picks up like the loud noises that they make. That's great. You can adjust like the brightness, you can adjust, I can't even remember what all of the settings are. So, you know, there's all sorts of settings like that on here, and there's just like a little digital screen on here that you can read all that stuff. I really did like this VTech for that reason. So this ended up working really great for the first several months that we used it, and we had no issues with it. But then one day this thing started, both the parent units started beeping, and we could not, like, it would just go ba-doop, like intermittently, like every, I don't know, 2 minutes or something like that. And this was like waking us up at night because it's kind of a loud noise. And I looked it up, and usually that's supposed to mean that it has disconnected from the child unit, like it's like lost the signal. And I was like, okay, well this just must be some sort of fluke, maybe the battery is running low, something, even though it's plugged into the wall. You know, I figured maybe there's some issue with it like that. You know, I tried turning them off, unplugging them, kind of like to reset them, and that seemed to help for a while, but then it came back. And at first it was just, you know, it would do that for every 2 minutes for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and then it would stop for hours, and then it would start doing it again. And as the weeks went on, it started doing this more and more and more frequently to a point where it was like beeping on and off all day long. And it was so annoying, and we could not figure out how to fix it. Like, we reset it many times. It was terrible. And so I actually went on Amazon and read some of the more detailed reviews that people have written about this, and other people had written the same thing. And so I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, our baby monitor is waking us up at night even though our baby is sleeping through the night. It's ridiculous and it's bad. And so we're like, we have to get a different monitor. So then we thought, well, maybe, you know, at that point we had been using it for about a year, and we're like, well, maybe it's just, you know, it's been on 24/7, you know, for a year. Maybe it's just getting old and worn out. Maybe we just need to get a new one. So we reordered the same one because all of the other features we really liked. And so, you know, by the time we had ordered this one, we actually had our second child, and we wanted to have 2 sets of monitors, one for our son's room, one for our daughter's room. So we thought, okay, maybe the other one has been off for a while. We'll boot it back up again and put that in our son's room, and put the new one in our daughter's room. And then both of them were beeping, and it was just god awful because it was waking us up at night. It was annoying. It was beeping throughout the day. And so we're like, okay, this is a problem. So I just went to Target just to see what they had, because we were like, we can't go one more night like this, and I just wanted to get what was there at the store. So I ended up getting the Graco Safe and Secure. And this one had pretty good reviews on Amazon. You know, there was nobody complaining about any sort of beeping or anything like that. This one has fewer features than the VTech one. You know, it doesn't have all of the, you know, detailed settings, but it does just have the basic digital audio needs that you would need from a monitor. Oh, and I should also mention that all of these have the little lights that light up too, that, you know, when baby's making a noise, you know, it has like the little lights as it gets louder, the lights go higher, that kind of thing. They all have that feature. So anyway, I thought this one was great. We plugged it in, we used it for a little while, had 0 beeping, the sound was just fine, but the problem with it is I didn't even notice this, but my husband is like very OCD about having no noise while he's sleeping, and any little thing like bothers him. And so this one had an ever so slight, I want to say a hiss or like a very faint static. It was not nearly as much as you would get with like an analog monitor. I mean, I didn't even notice it until he pointed it out, and then I could, you know, then I could kind of hear it, but it was bothering him, and he said he was having trouble sleeping because this noise was bothering him. Anyway, so he's like, okay, we've got to get another one. I was like, really? I'm fine with this one. If it were my review, I would say that I really like this Graco audio monitor. I thought it worked great. You know, had to respect his wishes, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get on one of my Facebook mom groups and ask what they recommend. And so there were a number of people who suggested getting the first year's crisp and clear audio monitor. And they said there was no hissing, like it's called crisp and clear for a reason. It's very crisp and clear. No beeping, nothing, and it's a very simple thing. All it has is like a little up and down volume thing, and that's the only control that it is. It's very simple. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Target and see if they have one of those there, which they did. I was very happy this was one of their monitor selections there. So I picked it up because I was like, that's it. We aren't spending any more money on monitors after this. This is getting a little ridiculous. So we decided to plug this one into my son's room, because his room is like the furthest away from our room and like the downstairs and everything, which could have been another reason why the other one was beeping so much, just because the signal had to travel further, and maybe it was just losing connection because of the distance. I don't know. But we tried this one, and this one works like a charm. This has been our silver bullet baby audio monitor. We've been very pleased with it. There was no hissing, no beeping, and really you could hear very well. There was no issue with the range with my son's room. So we have been very, very happy with this. We have been using this one now for almost a year and have been very satisfied with it. Now, since my daughter's room is closer to our room and closer to the downstairs, we decided, you know, we aren't going to buy another one of these just because it's getting ridiculous that we're spending so much money on monitors. So we actually tried plugging the newer VTech monitor that we bought into her room and using that for her room and using this one for my son's room. And that has actually finally worked for us. Because her room is close enough, there's been no beeping for us with this, which has been great. This system is working for us now. This thing is very simple, like it doesn't have all of the bells and whistles, which I find that ultimately we really just don't use that much anyway. All we really need to adjust is the volume. The VTech one does have a speaker so that you can like talk to baby through it. Which I find that I never really use that often anyway. Like I will use it for fun sometimes, like if they're playing in my daughter's room, I'll just like talk to them through it just because it's fun. But like I never ever talk to my baby over the monitor. For me, that was an unnecessary thing anyway. Yeah, and I don't believe that the Graco one has that feature, which was fine because we don't use it. The one feature that the Graco one does have, which is kind of unique to it, is that it vibrates. You know, you can like attach it to your hip, and if the baby makes a noise, it'll vibrate. So that's, I mean, I guess that's a nice feature of this one, but honestly, sound is enough for us. That's really all we need. Ultimately, I would say if we had to do it all over again, if I had to recommend to you guys just one monitor, I would definitely get the first year's one. If you just are looking for a very simple audio monitor that has no hissing, no beeping, no issues, it's straightforward, I would highly recommend this one. So that has been our experience with baby monitors. Now that I have actually done this review, I am going to sell the ones that we are not using since we don't need them anymore. So hopefully we'll at least get a little bit of the money back that we have spent on all of these monitors. So have you guys tried different audio baby monitors? I'd be really curious to hear your experience with them as well. There probably are other brands out there as well that we just didn't try. And if there are other good ones out there, I would love to know about them as well so I can suggest them to people as well. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. If you're researching baby monitors, hopefully this will give you some ideas of things to think about. And if you did find it helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so down below so you can get a little notification every time I put up a new video. And head on over to my Facebook page and like that as well if you haven't already. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye.